Teatro Dignidad is a local Tucson theater company that aims to bring conversation about injustice and human rights to the community through the medium of theatrical performance. Teatro Dignidad operates out of the Center for Global Justice in South Tucson, a notable gathering space serving to facilitate movement building and the sharing of progressive ideas. Among some of their core values are to demand justice by producing new work that explores the current and historic state of local and global human rights and inspiring the audience to demand change. Uplifting marginalized voices by participating with and in marginalized communities in our U.S.-Mexico border region and beyond, promoting performance in alternative spaces, and fostering allies. Producing work that is relevant by listening and producing theater in both Spanish and English that is focused on the needs of vulnerable groups and is accessible to Spanish-speaking immigrant communities, as well as recognizing the underrepresented, by providing a home and voice for people of color who have historically been and remain underrepresented in the U.S. theater industry. Since their founding in 2017, a major recurring theme for Teatro Dignidad in the plays they produce are the struggles that migrants face in their journeys from their home countries. As an organization located in Tucson, a prominent city in the border region, Teatro Dignidad seeks to promote the voices and needs of those in the local communities. As such, these stories highlight the experiences of migrants who've sought and are currently seeking refuge in the United States, and explores the core reasons for why displacement occurs, and invites the audience to think critically about their own perceptions of border narratives. Teatro Dignidad's newest production, Bocon, a story about a young boy traveling unaccompanied to the U.S. fleeing political violence in his home country, seeks to do just that, and is a play I had the opportunity of seeing 2 times in its run over the past month. The second of which was their final show, and before which was when I was able to conduct an interview with Alba Jaramillo, Teatro Dignidad's artistic director. As a disclaimer, I hadn't accounted for the chaos that conducting an interview during pre-show would entail, so please excuse the at times loud background audio that comes through in the video of the actors rehearsing and stuff.
Jaramillo, and I'm the artistic director and the founder of Teatro Dignidad. So we are a theater company, and we are focused on uplifting human rights and uplifting the voices of immigrants who are in our border communities. And so everything that we do is around a social justice issue, and we aim to produce plays that really get people thinking about human rights and wanting to do something to call for justice. Teatro Dignidad works in partnership with the Coalición de Derechos Humanos, which is one of the most influential immigrant rights organization. So we work with Derechos Humanos, and our theater work is deeply entrenched in movement work, and so we do advocacy through the theater arts and work with tons of activists. Some of our artists in the play are activists themselves, and through the theater arts that people will join this cause to call for immigration justice. Yeah, well, a lot of our plays are about the dynamic of immigration here in the border. The one, Bocon, that we're producing right now is about unaccompanied minors coming to the border. Our last play, Dos Nogales, was focused on the experiences of asylum seekers that come to the Nogales port of entry and try to gain refuge in the United States. So we brought a playwright to interview asylum seekers at our border. Oh, wow. And that play was produced in both English and Spanish. It was done in English here in Tucson, and we did it across the border in Nogales and Hermosillo in Spanish. So we often work with artists on both sides of the border. We also did a play called El Tiradito, which was about the Tiradito Wishing Shrine in Tucson, which is a place where we read the names of immigrants that have died in their journey to the United States. So that play was actually staged at the shrine itself, naming all the migrants that had died in our desert here in Pima County. So that is just kind of how an example of how we bring in the border and the immigrant experience in all of our work. So for one, I wasn't documented myself, and so that is part of the reason why I want to do this kind of work, because it's part of my lived experience. I'm also an attorney, and so I see firsthand how unjust these immigration laws are. So some of these experiences I wanted as a community organizer, but also as an artist, a theater artist, find a way to bring together both things. A call for justice and looking at the impact of unjust laws, and then also being able to put that on stage with a team of amazing artists. So that's why I founded Teatro Dignidad. I think, I think, one thing is to be an activist and to be an artist, and then another is to run a nonprofit. And so I think the more I learn, just the more I recognize how much support we need in terms of nonprofits, and especially nonprofits in the art. Theater productions are expensive, and so being able to be able to pay the artists a fair stipend, it's just a lot of work. I wish I could say that I could do all the acting and the fun stuff, but it's a lot of business work, and so what I've learned is to keep this going is partnerships and working with people that believe in the mission. Well, I think art is a very important form of advocacy and an important tool for social justice. And I think makes it, especially theater, what makes it unique is that it has the potential of opening the heart. And so for an audience member to sit through a play and not, rather than going or watching a protest, but actually sit through a play, listen to the characters, try to, for at least an hour, be in the shoes of the character, I think it develops empathy, and it's not just about politics, but it's about the human experience, and I think that's the power of theater.
As for a conclusion, or I guess is more of like a personal reflection, I think theater works as a medium for conveying social issues on a lot of levels, but this one sticks out to me the most. A tool for spinning broader narratives about a community is to dehumanize them, and theater at its essence is an art of storytelling that allows for the humanity in the characters and, importantly, the audience to be brought forth in its nature. Theater is all about narratives, and so it becomes an avenue for repatriating narratives back to the people who've had them taken away.